I just start speaking, and then the person wearing the headphones just monitors the levels.
I feel like Joe Rogan right now. I never wear headphones.
Yeah.
A lot of people like it because they feel like, oh, I'm listening to the show, but I don't like it. I'm going to take them off in a second.
Oh, I'm a big proprietor of listening to how I sound, so...
I feel like if I want to have headphones on, I'm in the headphones and I'm not in the world. I'm not present.
No, but as a professional podcaster now, according to certain titles, you need to monitor how...
I just do it by eye. I look at the levels on the recorder.
Of course you could do that, but then you also want to be secure.
Yeah.
In your, we sound good.
I think my biggest problem is not hitting the record button. And then...
We got to make sure that happens.
And then recording whole like segments and then being like, we didn't get any of that.
What is your podcasting fear? Is it that?
I've done that. I did that recently.
Yeah.
Me and my brother were recording a special episode about underrated sequels, and we did like half of it, and then I realized it wasn't recording.
Wow. So
we had to go back and redo it.
That sucks.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
And I did it once with Janine. It's happened. It's happened a few times.
Yeah.
It's happened a few times.
Yeah. I've done it, but you just have to be cognizant in the routine and the structure of what you do. So you should say, I am turning on the recorder. I'm plugging in the microphones.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to start recording, so I'm going to press the record button. I mean, that's how I do it.
All right.
Like, I sound like a fucking madman when I do that.
You know me, I like to just fly by the seat of my pants.
Yeah.
That's how I go. That's how I do it.
I mean, that's how the podcasting world is. Unless you're NPR.
I don't know if I like this microphone.
It sounds great, though.
I'm sure it does. But with you and your fancy microphones.
Well, it's been a while since I've been on. So, you're here, we're hanging out, we're using your recorder. I thought, hey, let me contribute to something other than my talent.
That's what I'm saying. You bring the talent.
Yeah.
You bring the Emilio Sparks persona.
Yeah.
Non grata. Emilio, how are you?
I'm good, man. I've missed you.
I've missed you, too.
I mean, we talk almost daily.
We text a lot.
Yeah.
Because we've both been doing new jobs. So we're both like, how are you doing? How are you doing?
Support system for each other,
Absolutely.
Which is huge.
I have a new tattoo you might notice. I
thought you had a staph infection or MRSA.
No, I don't have MRSA. What I'm not allowed to open it up now, but what I'll do is for segment 3, I'll reveal it to you.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
Why can't you reveal it now?
Because in show business, you put the good things at the end.
Oh, okay. I thought it was a tattoo rule.
Well, you're not supposed to like I just got it this morning. Okay. So they keep it wrapped up for like a couple hours, and then you can let it breathe. So technically I shouldn't take it off right now anyway.
I'm curious to see what it is. Like, I want to know, is it Whovian?
Well, you're referring to my other tattoo, which is a TARDIS.
Yeah.
Would you like to venture some guesses?
So here's what I'm going to do. Give me that piece of paper right there.
Sure.
And I'm going to write down some of my guesses.
This is like a magic trick.
I feel like the Amazing Jonathan.
Yeah.
Without the cocaine.
So why are you writing them down now? Emilio is going to get a writing implement, maybe a pencil or a pen.
I'm writing them down because I want to keep track of my guesses. So I want to allow myself to have 5.
Sure.
So now I want to know what would they be. So that way when we can go back, I can either have 1 right, or I can have none right. Yeah. But I want to make sure that they're documented. Right. So when we go back.
All right. For a second, I thought you were going to keep them secret.
Do you want to do that?
No. That's what it would be if it were a magic trick. But we're on the radio. I want the audience to hear what you think the guesses are.
I thought you were going to put them up to your head.
Karnak style?
Yeah, I thought you were going to Karnak style.
No.
Okay. So, let's see. The first one...
And I'm going to keep... My poker face is on right now.
Yeah.
I will reveal nothing in my facial expressions.
You always... You don't have a tell in real life, either. Like, even when we speak, you have no tell. You're just cold and emotionless and stoic.
I'm a sociopath.
You really are. All right, so I'm going to say it has to do with something Star Wars as my first guess. Like, number 1.
Oh, like Mr. Spock?
Star Wars?
I'm not familiar with this property.
You know, the $1 billion Disney empire.
Oh, yeah.
Where they have lightsabers.
Yes.
And it's good versus evil.
Yes. Perhaps.
And there was a guy that was...
Yeah. Perhaps.
Okay. So I'm going to say Star Wars.
Okay.
Now, I don't know what in the Star Wars world.
Okay.
Maybe it could be 2 lightsabers crossing. Maybe it can be, a rebel insignia. I don't know.
Right, maybe.
Maybe you're part of the rebels.
Maybe it's an Imperial sign.
I don't see you being the dark side, but hey, people change.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
So the second one might be in the world of Doctor Who to continue continuity because you seem like
from arm to arm.
Yeah. I'm going to say something with the Doctor.
Okay. These are good guesses.
Thank you. I think number 3, because you are a brainiac.
Yeah.
You're a bit of a nerd.
Sure.
You like books.
Yeah.
It could be a minimalist quote.
Ooh.
So we'll say quote.
I like that. I
can't see you being like one of the hot girl summers and it's just breathe or the infinity circle.
It actually says juicy.
Yeah, juicy. You know? White Claw.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to say
how would you feel
if
I were bold enough that I revealed my tattoo and it was a PCMC tattoo? Would you be like, wow? Or would you be like, good on you?
I would be like, this is on brand for Bongiorno.
Yeah.
Yeah, completely on brand.
Okay. But we're almost at 100 episodes.
It could be.
So that would be longer than any relationship I've ever had.
So you have to commemorate.
Yeah. Put it on me.
Yep.
Put it on me.
Burn it into the system.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Perhaps.
So let's see. Number 4, because I'm only going to do 5.
Yes.
In the world of Mike Bongiorno, he likes Star Wars, Doctor Who, books, Ghostbusters.
Yes.
So maybe it could be something. Maybe I don't know if it will be Slimer.
The green ghost.
Yeah, the green ghost.
Or the insignia.
Or the insignia.
Or the insignia with the peace sign, the part 2, which makes no continuity sense because it's not like they know they're in a sequel.
No, but it's the part 2.
But in the movie, it's the part 2.
Of course.
They changed their outfits.
Or it could be Ghostbusters for peace.
Well, yeah. Or victory if you turn it around the other way.
Yeah.
Victory. Okay.
Or fuck you, depending on the context.
Right. If it's a sitcom.
Yeah. So it might be that.
So, all right, tell the people where on my body it is.
See, the placement is what is interesting to me because it's on the forearm inside of the arm, not on the outer forearm.
Right. I wanted something that really would be in your face.
Really obnoxious.
Yeah.
And it's there.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at it, and it's not the biggest square covering.
No, I like my style is smaller tattoos, just black ink.
Yep.
I don't like any colors. I like
but meaning.
Yeah. When I went to get it originally, the artist Sonia put they do like a stencil to just see what it looks like, and I was like, can you go smaller? So she even wanted it to be bigger.
Was Sonia the one that did the TARDIS?
No, but she was there, the one who did the TARDIS.
Because the line work on the TARDIS is very nice.
I like the minimalism of the TARDIS, and I like that it's a challenge because some people know what it is and some people don't. Some people are like, oh, what's that, a little house you got tattooed on you? And then some people,
Is it a brownstone?
Yeah. Some people are like, that's a fucking TARDIS.
Well, I knew right away.
Yeah. You know or you don't know.
Yeah. And let's see, what could the 5th and possible...
So what you've got is Star Wars, Doctor Who, a quote, Ghostbusters something.
Yeah. Like, that's what I'm...
What could the 5th one
be? In the world of Mike Bongiorno.
Skeletor?
See, I was thinking something with Masters of the Universe. I was thinking maybe something with the Turtles.
I've thought about getting the magic swords, He-Man's sword and She-Ra's sword.
Yeah.
Kind of like you said, like the lightsabers back to back. That would be nice.
See,
that could be what it is.
I see. It's so tricky because in the world of pop culture and geekdom from Mike Bongiorno, it's like you can go anywhere.
Yeah.
Like for all I know, you can
not really. You could go in these 5 places.
In these 5 places,
Star Wars, Ghostbusters, He-Man.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe you could get an Orko.
That would be nice. He's a magician. That
could
be very meaningful.
And you like magic.
Yes.
And magic makes you feel young.
Sure.
So I'm gonna say Masters of the Universe.
What if it is a portrait of Brett Gelman?
Wow.
And all his Brett Gelmanisms. All his Gelman-y.
See, now, but it would have to be, it couldn't be a portrait, it would have to be a caricature.
Yeah, it would be a caricature. Yeah.
Which would be great, but I'm not going to put that down. because I don't think you're a Gilman fan, but
you might be.
I might be off. But during the reveal, we will go back and run down Star Wars, Doctor Who, a quote, Ghostbusters.
Now, quote is these are very vague answers you're giving.
Because
but what kind of quote would it be, though?
I don't know. Maybe it would be,
a quote of the other things that you've said?
It
like
could
a
be,
Doctor Who quote?
It could be, it could be that. Or it could be a quote from a book. Or it could be just a word. Or it could be maybe like...
Ma. Mom.
Golden Girls.
Yeah.
You know? Or it could be maybe like the navigation thing. Or something.
Oh, yeah. Oh, like the sort of like the sort of matrix box of like
or it's actually just the numerical numbers going across the arm.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
Okay,
because it's part for you hipstery looking. The TARDIS is a very hipstery looking tattoo on you.
Yeah, it is,
and the placement of it and the minimalism of black and gray.
It originally was gonna have a quote, and then I dropped the quote. I was gonna have the Doctor's like his motto, never cruel or cowardly, never give up, never give in.
See, so that's why I would think
that's what could be right here on this arm, right here.
And it could be in little writing, like little tiny letters.
Yes, it could. Like a nice calligraphy.
Yeah, a beautiful calligraphy.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm going to go with.
All right, I like it.
Would I have gotten a tattoo? No. If I could I cheese grade the one I have off my back? Absolutely.
You probably could just get it removed in a less violent way.
That's a lot of money, Michael.
They just use lasers.
Listen, even though I just got healthcare, it's a lot of money.
You look healthy.
Thank you.
You look like a man who no longer has to go to the emergency room when he gets sick.
No, I can go to the doctor.
Good for you, man. Good for you.
So what episode is this?
I'm not sure. We're in the 90s.
We're in the 90s.
Yeah.
Do you remember when I used to do this with you every week?
Yeah, for like, I don't remember.
52 straight. I was with you for the first 52.
Really?
Yeah. I would like to believe that I was.
Were you? I don't know. I did a lot of them. I'm not sure when you stopped being in every single one. I'm not sure. You did. Did a lot of them. Yeah. When we record the 100th episode, it's just gonna be you and me talking.
I look forward to that.
It's gonna be it's gonna be more chill than the chill sesh.
And that's pretty chill.
Yeah. Because we won't be like stuck in having to talk about pop culture. The 100th episode, we just talk about anything. We talk about us. We talk about our lives.
I like that.
We talk about, our failures and our successes, the bridges we burned and the roads we travel.
So pretty much people are going to cry.
Yeah.
All right, good.
My goal is to make you cry.
You think you're going to do that?
Barbara Walters style.
You think you're going to do that?
When you don't think something's coming, I'm going to be like, so tell me what it felt like when Joe Montanino passed away.
That's where we're going?
When our good friend Joe passed away.
Wow, I could see this is going to be a insightful
because we were like
episode.
A threesome.
We were.
And now there's a twosome.
Yeah.
People at home don't know this. We set up a third mic for him. We just leave. Yeah.
Originally, he was supposed to be on Wrestle Rap.
He would have been very good on that show.
Yeah, he was supposed to be.
Well, he doesn't exist anymore.
Oh, he exists. It's just in a different plane.
That's another thing. In the 100th episode, let's get into religion.
All right.
We have very different religious beliefs. But I've been getting into Buddhism.
Okay.
So that's a little preview. Preview. All right, let's do some news. So... this is news. By the way, this is the type of news story that I wrote down, and I was like, nobody cares about this but me. Nobody cares about this but me.
What is it?
Hasbro.
Yeah.
They've been doing so bad with the Star Wars toys that they canceled their main line of figures. So their main line is the 3.75 inches. Those are the cheap ones. And, the design on the box changes, but their main line is like, these are the cheapest figures. These are the figures that they've been basically making nonstop since 1996. And those are the ones I collect. I don't collect Black Series because, I don't know, they're 6 inches and they're over articulated. To me, they're not toyetic enough. And last year, they introduced the vintage line, which is 3.75 inch figures, but on the old card box and a little bit more money, and usually with if it's got a robe, it's real cloth, so it's a little bit better quality. And with the vintage line, you can have every wave of the vintage line pulls from everything. So wave 1 is Luke from the original movie, but Rey from the new movie. So because they haven't been doing good with the normal cheap movie line, they've canceled it. It's gone. It's finito. Okay, from the mid-90s to now, it is gone, Emilio.
R.I.P.
Right. So...
But didn't you think that was coming? Because it was always repurposed, repackaged shit. Like, how many times do you need a Darth Vader?
Right, but...
Or a Rey?
I really thought... I don't know. I thought that the main line would never go. I thought, okay, they've got the vintage... Because now what's happening is the vintage becomes the main line.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, Episode 9's coming out, and I want Episode 9 figures. I want figures of the new toys. And basically, the only way to get that is there's going to be a new wave of the vintage. So there'll be a couple of characters from Episode 9, but there'll also be, like, an old Yoda from an... You know what I mean? Like... I wanted... Which means also it's going to take longer to get all the new characters, because if they're just thrown in one or two for each wave, I'm going to have to wait. Whereas I liked going on Force Friday and picking up the whole series.
So now, because the original... Is that what it's called?
The original line?
The original line?
That's what I would call it. So, I mean, it's changed names over the years, but that was their basic line.
And it always had... But it always... the card changed.
Right, because, like, during, you know, every new movie, it would have an image from the movie on it.
Yeah.
You know, and it would be like, okay, now we're focusing on, you know...
But there's no real distinct differences between the original line and then the vintage line.
The vintage line is a higher price point. It's usually $1 to $2 more, depending on where you go. It usually has less bullshit accessories and more like cloth accessories. Like whereas with the regular line, everything's always plastic. With the vintage line, they try to like harken back to the old 1977 line where like there'll be real like cloth. Like I have the vintage Snoke, and he's got that gold suit, and it's very luxurious.
But essentially,
yeah,
it's the same figure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right. Just with a real...
Like, here's some gold lame.
Right.
Okay.
I don't mind the existence of both lines, and I don't mind the existence of the vintage, but, like, Force Friday is coming up again in October. I think October 4th, okay?
That's our thing.
Yeah. So, with Force Friday, there's going to be a new wave of vintage. So, in that wave, there's going to be the new red Sith Trooper, who's from the new movie, and...
Because you need that.
And yes, and Kerry Russell's... You know Kerry Russell's in the new movie? Felicity?
Wow.
She's in Episode 9. So
where did they find her?
I don't know. JJ remembered her from the days. He was like, I'm bringing you back.
He's like, please don't cut your hair ever again.
Yeah. So then the Felicity... Felicity. I almost said Felicity Huffman. Is she? By the way, is she in jail yet for buying her kid into college?
Maybe.
So the Kerry Russell and the Sith Trooper, those are the only two from the new movie. Because then there's going to be like a land, like it's a wave of vintage that's going to have
Felicity.
Right.
Okay.
It's only going to have two from the new movie, and I think one from the Mandalorian show.
All right.
Basically, instead of doing a dedicated line for when every new movie or show comes out, it's just the Star Wars line, and every wave will have a hodgepodge from different video games, different comics, different movies. So if you are excited about Episode 9 and you're like, I want all the figures of Episode 9, which of course I do, I gotta wait. All I got now, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna have just Kerry Russell fighting against a Sith Trooper? Just that's not enough of a play adventure.
For now it is, because what you could do is take the old toys that you have and reenact some Felicity TV. Why don't you do that? But make it into Star Wars.
So, like, have Kylo Ren, he goes off to college, and she follows him.
Yes, you have Adam from Girls.
Yeah.
Go to college.
I like that you will not call him anything other than Adam from Girls.
That's all he is.
Because you've got his first name. It's in there.
Adam from Girls.
His name is Adam.
Yeah. Isn't that the character's name, too?
No, the character's name is...
Adam from Girls.
No. Well, which character? The character in Girls?
Yeah.
His name is Adam in Girls, yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
But his real name is Adam Driver.
See, I didn't know that. I just thought, oh, that's Adam from Girls.
Right.
Okay, cool.
I don't think you're getting the gravity of how big a deal this is.
What, Adam from Girls?
No.
Or just the fact that the toys are gone?
The 3.75 inches gone. Emilio, look at the writing on the wall.
It's over.
Toys R Us, gone.
Sears.
The main Star Wars line.
Gone.
Star Wars, which if you've watched the Toys That Made Us, arguably the creator of the action figure. They're the OGs. They're gone.
Well, I don't know about all that. Let's slow down a little bit there.
No.
I think G.I. Joe.
No, those are dolls. I'm sorry. Those are dolls. G.I. Joe didn't get small until they were copying He-Man. I mean, copying Star Wars, which also He-Man was copying. Star Wars...
Could be. Hey, could be.
They made the 3 3/4 inch the standard. And now they're gone, Emilio. They're dead. They're burying it all.
It just changes, that's all. And then, this franchise.
Yeah.
They're going to bring it back after 5 years. Once the movies cool off.
Right.
Because this is it after this.
They'll bring back the Power of the Force line.
Boom. And then what happens?
I buy them all.
It hooks you right back into the vein.
Every single one of them.
That's what you do.
Yeah.
The last 2 times we went to Fourth Friday, I know we recorded 2 for the Emilio Sparks experience. Yeah. I don't know if we did a third. Did we do a third?
No, we did one, I think, for this show. No, we did. We did the Last Jedi. We did it for this show.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we did 3 of them together.
Rogue One, I think we did for the Emilio Sparks experience, the old podcast.
We did 2 because there's another episode on there because I was listening back to the archives.
Did we do 2?
We did 2 Force Fridays. Anyway, what's gonna happen is once the movie's cool after this last hoorah, you're gonna see. Watch in 5 years. Mm-hmm. They're gonna come back, and then I'm gonna get a text from Mike saying we got to go to Toys R Us.
Yeah.
Or
what you just said hurt me very deeply.
Sorry. R.I.P.
It's like what you basically just did is like when you've broken up with a girl and then your song comes on the radio and you got to pull over for a second. You got to pull off the BQE and just sit in your car for a second and like shed a tear or two.
Speaking of that, can I share something?
That very specific story is not true, by the way.
No, but can I share something with you?
Please.
So I don't know, maybe a decade ago when me and my ex-girlfriend broke up. Or she broke up with me.
Yeah.
My brother would hit me with the Hall & Oates bomb.
Really?
Every time he would see me.
What was your song, Private Eyes?
No, it was She's Gone, Vincent would play.
Oh, wow. What a cruel thing to do.
So I would wake up in the morning and I would hear, She's gone, oh, I never found another.
But that wasn't your song.
No, it wasn't our song.
That was just a song that reminded you of your heartache.
He would just torment me. So, like, sometimes he would throw his phone into a room and lock me into the door and hold the door, and I would hear She's Gone.
And people think he's the nice one.
But it wasn't bad.
Was it immersion therapy?
It would make me laugh, really.
Okay.
So
he was helping. He was Patch Adamsing you.
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. And then sometimes he would also send CCR's Have You Ever Seen the Rain?
Oh, that's
another deep one that gets me.
I can't hear that without thinking about The Longest Yard and playing football.
I want to know, have you
just
ever
the mud all over you.
seen the rain?
But did you and that girl have a song?
No.
No?
No. The relationship was a sham.
I
take it back.
There was no song? But you've had songs with girls before, right?
No.
You've never had a song with a girl? I feel like everyone I've dated, we've had a song. Which is weird now that I think about it.
And you would think because I am a music guy, I should have a song.
Yeah,
but I never did. Now, when I hear She's Gone by Hall & Oates, I laugh and I think of that time period in which I was going through something. Mm. So I was at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame when Hall & Oates got inducted.
You were?
Yeah, I was covering it for work.
Very nice. Yeah. Did you speak to either Hall or Oates?
Yes, I did.
One of them really hates deer. Because he has Lyme disease, so if you get him into it, he's like, "Fucking deer! I hate every fucking deer ever." He has a real hatred for deer.
It's got to be Daryl. It's got to be Daryl.
It's got to be Daryl.
Yeah. I don't see John really being affected by anything.
You think
it's Daryl?
Oh, okay.
But Daryl also had a show on VH1 Classic called Live from Daryl's House, and they do a really good rendition where he would have other musicians come in and hang out, and they would just cover songs. So Rob Thomas from Matchbox 20 came on. Yeah. And they did a rendition of She's Gone. An acoustic stripped down version. Feel? Oh, it's sexy. But it made me.
But it made you think thoughts.
It made me think of when my brother would throw his phone into a room and I'd hear, She's gone. I never found another lover. She's gone. She's gone. And I was like, wow.
When I was dating, our song was Will You Still Love Me Tomorrow? Which is kind of a weird song for a couple that was on and off for many years. Will You Still Love Me Tomorrow?
That's on Dirty Dancing. It's in Dirty Dancing.
Yeah. Anyway.
All right.
So Fathom Events they were showing the original Ghostbusters to celebrate the 35th anniversary.
Where do they do this? Because they've done some movies that I wanted to go see, and we have.
I saw The Matrix recently.
We have 9 theaters in Staten Island.
They're all around.
Nothing.
The Fathom Events are just around. You got to look for them. They're just there. I saw The Matrix recently for their anniversary. But here's the thing. Here's the news. Let me read you the description that Fathom Events put up.
They're no longer doing any.
No.
Oh.
This is the description for the Ghostbusters event. Ready? When ghosts go on a rampage, only 3 men can save the world. It's Ghostbusters, starring Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, and Harold Ramis as a maniacal band of parapsychologists specializing in psychic phenomena and supernatural hilarity. And they are back on the big screen for a special 35th anniversary event. Now, what is missing there?
Ernie Hudson?
Ernie Hudson. Not only do they not say Ernie Hudson, they say only 3 men can save the world. Now, this is a long history of Ernie Hudson being fucked by this franchise. He was originally came in the script on like page 10, and then by the time they were shooting, he didn't come into page 30. That's fuck you number 1. Fuck you number 2, he posed for publicity photos with the other guys for the poster. They cut him off the poster. He was not in the poster. When they were doing the video game... Oh wait, I'm sorry, I'm skipping. When they did the cartoon, he was like, I'll voice Winston. And they were like, sure, audition. He auditioned to voice the role he played in the movie. And they said, no, we're going to go to Arsenio Hall. He sounds more like you than you sound like you.
It's so fucked up.
And then when they did the video game, they also didn't call him. When Bill Murray signed on to the video game, one of his stipulations was that they put Ernie Hudson in it and pay him as much as everyone else, because Bill Murray's a good guy like that. That's awesome. And here we are again. And he's been nothing but loyal to this franchise, and he gets fucked left and right. It's not right, Emilio.
And he is a vital part of Ghostbusters 2 because of the ooze.
Right. I can understand saying stars Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, and Harold Ramis, because they're the above the title. That makes sense, right?
Featuring Ernie Hudson, Rick Moranis,
Sigourney Weaver, Annie Potts. But to write only 3 men, who's writing this? Like who, Emilio? It's fucked up.
Is it Aykroyd? Is he trying to Gene Simmons the game?
I hope not. Fathom changed it after a little bit of uproar.
I would be pissed off too.
They apologized.
Did Ernie Hudson send out a tweet, an Instagram, anything?
I don't believe he did. I believe it was fans. Ernie is a class act.
He's a sweet man.
I've
met Ernie Hudson.
Have you?
Yeah.
He's a sweetheart.
He's a good dude.
He's great shape. Big arms.
I loved him in Oz.
Yes.
He was great in Oz.
He's my favorite part of The Crow.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yes.
Right?
He's the reason why that movie flows the way it should.
Yeah.
I like the scene where there's when you see like the blood on the wall, and after like Eric Draven kills I forget who, and he goes, what do you take this to be? You know, and like the tough as nails detective looks at Ernie Hudson, and Ernie Hudson goes as he's smoking a cigarette, what you might call graffiti. And he smokes a cigarette.
He's the only. I don't like that movie. He's the only part of that movie I like.
Hey, well, why don't you like The Crow?
He grounds the whole movie.
Hey, why don't you like The Crow? It's my favorite Halloween movie.
Because
when I think of fall,
yeah,
I think of The Crow.
I watched it maybe too late. Maybe if I watched it as a kid, I'd have a greater appreciation for it. I watched it as an adult, and I was like, boy, this story meanders. I can sense that they don't have enough footage.
Oh, yeah.
The CG is bad. It just feels like...
But Brendan Lee, that role, he's so good in it, though.
It's just so emo in all the wrong ways.
You don't like the shot where he like puts his head on the light bulb when he's about to kill Funboy? And Funboy's like, don't you ever fucking die? And he's killing him. Ba-bang, ba-bang,
I do like that the bad guy snorts gunpowder like cocaine.
Yeah. Top dog.
That's some real hardcore shit.
And they're like burning people's eyes, him and his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Played by Ba Ling.
Yeah.
You get a great Ba Ling butt shot.
But Ernie Hudson's great.
He's great in that.
He's fantastic in whatever he endeavors to do.
Well, he's the anchor. He's the rock.
He is. He's the best part of that movie. That movie's all over the place, and he's the nucleus keeping it together.
You know what he's really good
yoke.
in?
What?
He is really good in The Substitute.
Which one is that?
It's the one with not Treat Williams, but with
Oh, I don't remember.
Tom Berenger. Where the ex-CIA agent goes undercover to break up a big drug busting ring after his girlfriend gets beat up and mugged.
I always get this confused with 187.
That stars Samuel L. Jackson.
And that's also about teachers, right?
Yes. But it was a little bit different.
Okay.
Similar premise.
Okay.
But a little bit different.
So who's already playing that?
He plays the principal. And the principal is this corrupt businessman who's trafficking drugs through the school.
Oh, he's the bad guy.
He is the bad guy.
He's the villain.
But he comes off as this amazing teacher, principal.
Of course.
Educator, father.
That's what they call a
husband.
switcheroo.
Oh, it's so good.
In the biz.
Yes.
In the movie biz. That's a switcheroo.
He breaks a board.
Was he a bad guy in Oz? He's the warden, right?
He's the warden in Oz.
But is he a heavy or is he a good guy?
He's
a sweet guy.
He's a sweet guy.
Okay. He's a sweetheart.
He is.
What else is in the news? So, do you remember when Richard Linklater made Boyhood?
That fucking 25-year film?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it, by the way.
I did.
I tried to watch it, and I was like, this isn't very good.
It sucks.
It felt like an experiment more than a movie. Well, he's doing it again. He's making...
Is it just continuing?
No, it's not Boyhood.
Girlhood?
He's doing Merrily We Roll Along.
What the fuck is that?
It's a Stephen Sondheim musical. But he's going to do it over a 20-year span. He's already filmed the first part.
Oh, why?
So, Beanie Feldstein, who I love, Blake Jenner, Ben Platt...
I like Ben Platt.
...are in... and it's a musical, Merrily We Roll Along.
Okay.
He'll be directing the project, which is backed by Blumhouse. Let's see if they're around in 20 years. And will shoot over a 20-year span. The much-beloved musical based on the 1934 play by Georges Kaufman and Moss Hart follows Franklin Shepard, a talented composer of Broadway musicals that abandons his friends and careers to become a producer of Hollywood movies. So, it's a musical that they're shooting over 20 years.
Good. Hard pass.
I mean, it's interesting. It's interesting. I guess this is what he does now.
How is that interesting?
Well, it's not like Boyhood.
I want a slow burn of a movie that's going to come out when we're fucking 70?
Well, but like the one thing about Boyhood that people liked was it is a fascinating experiment to, instead of casting someone else, to actually see a human being grow and it be the same person on the screen. It'll be interesting for them to do that in... this time along, instead of just throwing together a plot, he decided to make like a musical that people know and like. So it's interesting.
Yeah, but you gotta wait though.
Right. And then who's gotta wait? I've gotta wait?
We gotta wait.
Yeah, but you know.
Are you gonna even remember this when it comes out?
When Boyhood happened, nobody, like, it was in secret. Boyhood just came out and they was like, I've been doing this for a long time. This, they announced it ahead of time. So... You know, I mean, in some ways you could say it's brave for them to think that they'll still be in America in 20 years. We'll still have movie screens. And it won't just be a Mad Max Thunderdome situation.
Pal. It failed the first time. It wasn't good. It was not.
Yeah.
Okay, we saw the kid awkwardly grow up.
Well, that's what growing up is about, Emilio. Being awkward.
Do you want to have your childhood flash before your eyes?
I'd love to do it.
Oh, yeah?
I'd love that.
Yeah?
There's a lot of VHS out there of me as a child.
What are you, Adam Goldberg?
There really is. No. There really... And I had that camera, too. And it took me a while for my dad to let me use it. Because it was like a lot of money back in the 80s.
Yeah, dude.
I think my first big gig was I filmed my aunt's wedding. And I got a little too artistic with the shots. And my dad was like, cut it out, Fellini. Fucking.
You're like, no, I need a tracking shot.
I was doing a lot of like moving around and stuff. I was shooting to cut. Like I was shooting it, you know, finding images that I would cut together later. And he was like,
you had no.
He just wanted to fucking. He wanted it to be. He had no vision, my dad. He had no vision for that wedding. I had a vision.
You think so?
Yeah.
No, I think you didn't know what you were doing. I'm going to say that right out.
Speaking of not knowing what we're doing, let's go to the trailer corner.
I know where you're going with this.
All right, so we looked at 3 trailers today.
2 of which are the same movie.
Okay, so the trailers are Bad Boys for Life, the third Bad Boys, which I did not know was even happening. Birds of Prey, or what's the long title? Or The Emancipation of One Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
And Rambo, Last Blood.
I'm very excited for that.
Where do you want to start?
You know what? Let's talk about The Emancipation of Harley Quinn.
So that's an interesting trailer because it begins as a fake out that it's going to be the trailer for It Chapter 2. You hear the weird it noise, and you see the red balloon floating up. But then Harley Quinn comes out, played, of course, by Barbie herself, Margot Robbie. Yeah. And she uses her big sledgehammer to pop the balloon. And she says, I'm sick of fucking clowns. And when she says fuck, the balloon pops so you don't hear her say fuck.
I like Margot.
I love her. Now, I don't know a lot about the comics. I did watch the CW series Birds of Prey, which was like out in like 2005 maybe, 2004. It was a long time ago. It had one season.
Yes.
The Birds of Prey are a group of superheroes. One of them is Huntress, who depending on which comic book, she's either Batman's daughter or the daughter of a gangster that Batman killed. And then there's Canary, I think. And then I think they're all bird themed.
Yes.
They're all bird themed.
With the exception of Oracle.
Right. Oh, right. And Oracle was Batgirl.
Yes.
But then after
she got shot.
Yeah, Joker shot her in the back. She becomes Oracle. And she becomes a paraplegic. So I'm not sure how Harley Quinn fits into it either, but I think they were like, look, you're the only good part of Suicide Squad. We're going to keep you. What are we going to do? Let's throw you in this.
I mean, listen, tons of people dressed like you for Halloween. We're going to cash in on this.
Yeah.
We're not going to really follow comic continuity because who does that in the DC universe?
Yeah.
So let's just do this. Let's just have fun.
Well,
let's make it its own property.
You liked Suicide Squad, right?
I did. I thought it was good.
So, what are your feelings about this then?
See, it's.
And if Batman's in it, is it Robert Pattinson as Batman or is it still Affleck? Because she was with Affleck. She was in the Affleckiverse.
That's the confusing part. But I don't think it's going to be Affleck because he's not going to do it. So it has to be Robert Pattinson. Does Jared Leto reprise his role as the Joker?
I think so. If she's Harley Quinn, he's got to be the Joker.
To be, right?
It can't be Joaquin Phoenix because he is.
Is he just a one-off?
And that movie takes place in like the 90s or something or the 80s, so it wouldn't even make sense for him. I don't know if I think it is a one-off. I don't think that connects into.
It has to be Leto.
The universe that.
In order for this thing to work, we need Jared Leto.
I think what connects now is Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Shazam, and Birds of Prey. I think
that's not a bad.
That's all that's connected now.
Those
are all good.
Yeah,
those are all good. I guess you had to unload the baggage of Batman and Superman.
Yes, you did.
The Schneiderism of it all.
You had to get rid of it. It had to go bye-bye.
Yeah,
it had to. It had to go.
I honestly think that she's amazing. She was great in I, Tonya. I think that more than look. Of course, she is one of the most beautiful human beings to ever walk the face of this earth. But in some ways, it's almost like a detriment because she's like Brad Pitt, where it's like you don't notice how great they are because of how attractive they are. Brad Pitt is great. Brad Pitt is a great actor. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Is that a hot take? He's a great actor.
No, I don't think it's a hot take at all.
She's a great actor too.
I think Brad Pitt is very handsome. Specifically, 1994 Brad Pitt.
See, that's the first thing you said, right?
Yeah, 100%. You need a handsome Brad Pitt.
But what I'm saying is, the handsomeness is all people think about. On his grave, it's going to say he was handsome. It's not going to say he was great in, 12 Years a Slave. He produced 12 Years a Slave. Now, did he give himself the white savior role? He did, but, No,
he thought that was going to be his Oscar film.
Yeah. It was an Oscar film, just wasn't for him.
For him. He thought it was going to be his Oscar role.
Yeah.
Like, this is the one that's going to separate him from just being sex god.
I bet Brad Pitt gets an Oscar nomination for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
But he'll always be Interview with a Vampire for me.
Louis.
But I love 1994 Brad Pitt.
Oh, come on.
I think that's like when he was his most good looking.
You gotta love it, 1994 Brad Pitt.
But he's on the Rolling Stones, though. Like, he's on the cover of Rolling Stones that year.
Yeah.
And this is when grunge was at its zenith as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I just don't know where they're going to go with...
I don't know. All right, let's talk about Bad Boys for Life. I actually saw the first Bad Boys in the theater.
Really?
Yeah.
I saw it on VHS.
I was young, too, to see that movie. And I loved it. I think it's one of Michael Bay's best movies.
It is.
I have not seen part 2, though. Have you seen part 2?
In parts. I haven't seen it fully.
Well, now we're on part 3, Bad Boys for Life.
I
did not know this was going to happen. I didn't read that this was happening. I just saw the trailer and I was like, the fuck out of here.
Stop it. You didn't think so?
I mean, I watched it and it looks so much like current day Michael Bay. Like, you see the car and it's like, is this a Transformers movie? Is this car going to transform and then Michael Lowry's going to fall out? Like,
that would be something. Could you imagine it's like a crossing of his worlds?
Why not just do a whole Michael Bay-verse?
You should. And then you have Optimus Prime rolling with Martin Lawrence and Will Smith.
Does it look good to you?
Yes and no. Mm-hmm. I think because of the way it's shot, yes.
Yeah.
But it's been a long absence of time.
Yeah, it's been a long time since.
So it's kind of like, where are these characters going?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That's what I want to see. I want to see, does Mike Lowry, is he a dad now?
Yeah.
You know? Because he was a hotshot. He was braggadocious. He was Mike Lowry.
Well, yes, but he was always less of a hotshot than Will Smith. Will Smith was always like...
Martin Lawrence, you mean?
No. Will Smith is the one...
Will Smith is Mike Lowry.
Oh, why do I always think of... what's his name is Mike Lowry?
No, Martin Lawrence, no. So
what's Martin Lawrence's name?
I'll tell you right now.
I guess because I think about the scene in part 2 where he keeps saying his name. Mike Lowry. Well, it looks like he's still a hotshot.
Marcus Burnett. So Will Smith and Martin Lawrence play Mike Lowry, played by Will Smith, and Marcus Burnett, played by Martin Lawrence.
Yeah.
So the film grossed, like, the first one I think grossed like over $100 million.
Téa Leoni really got fucked in this franchise.
Yes, she did.
Because she's like the girl in the first one, and she's like the witness.
She ain't the girl in the second one.
I don't know. I like that Joey Pants is still around.
How can you not? You need certain characters.
You need him to be the guy yelling. I don't know. I feel like it could... it's probably going to be a mess, though. Because Michael Bay's movies are just messes.
They all are.
Do you know that when Michael Bay shoots, right?
Yeah, but is it all improv? Or most of it's improv?
Yeah, like, let's say you were in a Michael Bay movie. They'd say, like, unlike a regular movie where you've got your dates, they would say, come... every day. You're going to come every day and you're going to hang out in the fucking bullpen. And if he just decides he wants you for a scene, he'll just come and go, okay, you come in here. And then he'll just try different things. Which sounds artistically brilliant, but it really ends up just being nonsense.
No, that's a bit frustrating if you're an actor.
No, yeah, because you're hanging around for nothing. And also,
even a screenwriter has to be kind of pissed because...
Oh, no, yeah.
If you're trying to keep some sort of continuity within the script...
all over it.
He just changes the script. That's why I think Transformers is as bad as they are.
Yeah, but he's gotten more and more into this insane style. Also now, a lot of it is just like putting the product placement. Oh, we have Chinese products we need to fucking
Gotta do it.
Yeah.
Gotta do it. But yeah, no, I don't like that. But I remember they were talking about improv on the Blu-ray DVD commentary about it, and they said a couple of things that, like, Will Smith was like claiming to not wanting to say a couple of lines and he wanted to stick to the script and he wanted him to improv, and Will's like, no, it works better this way, so I want to do it this way. Right. It's in the script, like, I'm following, like, you know, so.
But Michael Bay apparently, like, dresses in like a military outfit and like is like yells at people. No, he's like a fucking tyrant. He's a crazy tyrant.
Really?
Yeah, that's apparently he's really hard to work with. What year did Bad Boys 2 come out?
Part 1 is 95.
Yeah.
Part 2 is in 2003.
Okay.
That's a long time.
Wow. Yeah.
This one made over $200 million.
2003 to now. Wow. Fuck.
It's a long time.
That's a long time.
That's a long fucking time. So now
I don't know.
Where does it go?
I honestly, I don't know. I mean, it's always been kind of a Lethal Weapon ripoff. You know, with like the one who's like one's the wild card. He's loose, and then the one who's like buttoned up, and he's like, "Oh, let's not go in there and do this."
Yeah.
There's a, I don't know, emotional, if you want to use that word, moment in the trailer where Will Smith is like, "Come on, man, one last time," and then Martin Lawrence is like, "All right, one last time," which reminds me of the Fast and Furious movies.
What I like. I hope I don't know if she will be in this one, but I want to see where they go with the relationship between Sydney, which was Martin Lawrence's sister in the movie, played by Gabrielle Union, and Will Smith. Are they married?
Oh right, yeah.
Like, do we see a softer Mike Lowrey now?
In the trailer, it seems like he just looks more muscular. He looks like current day.
He's great. He's in great shape. I love Will Smith, but. What do we do? You know,
I don't know.
Like that, I look forward to it. Clearly, I'm going to go see it. I need to see it.
Yeah, of course I'll see it. All right, so the last trailer we looked at is Rambo: Last Blood.
Not one Rambo trailer, but two. Rambo trailers.
Yeah, we looked at both. So the new trailer, or the bigger trailer that shows the plot, basically it's Taken, but with Rambo in it. Like, he's got like a niece, and they kidnap his niece. I don't know who kidnaps his niece. The Rambo movies always have really problematic race situations in them. It looks like this is him against Mexican cartels in California. But his niece or whatever gets taken, and it's taken with Rambo. And when I saw the trailer in the theater, I was like hyped. Because it's going to be stupid, but I want to see Rambo kill a bunch of people.
Is that what they do now, though, Mike? Is that what they do? Is it supposed to be Mexican drug cartel? Like, that's the evil now?
I believe that's...
Because I've noticed a trend over the last maybe like 10 years that the villain in any major movie now is Mexican drug cartel.
Yeah, I feel like... It fits.
Is it just because of this specific climate?
Yeah, I think it fits into this idea of Mexico is a scary place and we need to build a wall between us and them, and they're making our lives worse. You know, in the case of this movie, they are stealing white women, and you know that upsets racist people a great deal. I mean, look at like there's a scene in this is not Mexicans, but there's a scene in A Birth of a Nation where. A black man who's really just a white guy in blackface tries to rape a woman, and she jumps off a cliff and kills herself to not be raped. So the whole weird thing of like white women being pure, it's not new in cinema history.
No,
and you know, protecting the white lady from the scary dark man it's deep in our fucking bones.
There was a real. I don't want to say, because there's always been a political theme within Rambo's.
Right. I mean, the first one is he's coming back from Vietnam.
But this one has, that was, if you think about it, probably the most liberal one.
Right, yeah.
Then they kind of start to get real conservative.
Yes.
You know, and I think this one really, from the trailers, now we haven't even seen a single second of footage yet, outside of what we see in the trailers.
Yeah.
But this one kind of seems very magma.
Yeah, but...
And you don't even know Stallone's political leanings because he doesn't talk about that stuff.
No. I mean, we could guess.
I think we could.
But, you know, I'm still excited to see it because I feel like even if the movie has an ideology, which of course it does, I don't think it's smart enough to know that it has an ideology. I think what the movie wants to do is just show us a lot of deaths and craziness and him fucking home alone in a house and blowing up people. And that's what I'm here for.
Would you have liked to have seen Joe Pesci and
Daniel Stern kidnap Rambo's niece,
and then all these wacky hijinks through the house?
That would be fun. I'm gonna get you, wet bandits.
Wet bandits. I got a specific set. You gonna call the cops? You can catch me now? He's gonna call the cops. from a treehouse. Then you see Rambo blow up the treehouse.
Yes, it writes itself. If you look at the Rambo movies and the Rocky movies, they both start off very dramatic and, let's say, with
the first two,
with a monicum of realism, and both of those series get crazy. But as Rambo got crazier, I think it got better. Whereas when Rocky got crazier, I think it gets worse. It has diminishing returns.
I don't know, man. If we're looking at
the last Rambo movie, which was just called John Rambo, which, by the way, all the titles in this series make no sense. It's First Blood, then it's Rambo 2. No, Rambo First Blood 2. Then it's Rambo 3. Then it's John Rambo. And now it's Rambo Last Blood. In the last one, he has a anti-aircraft guns, and he's shooting at human beings, and like their limbs are just blowing off. Yeah, it's extraordinary.
Yeah,
so much fun. It's ridiculous.
That's why I'm saying.
Yeah,
the first one.
That's what I love about it.
See, I want a little bit more depth from Stallone at this point.
No.
Ryan Coogler was the only one to bring out his depth in the last 30 years.
Like, I wouldn't want this new Rambo movie to be a more somber, serious Rambo movie.
Oh, so you want it to just be insane?
I want it to keep getting crazier and crazier. Like, next time I want it to just be like Rambo on the moon, shooting up moon people. Let's go there.
They take Rambo's niece's daughter.
Yeah.
So his niece.
If this movie makes any money,
it's gonna make a lot of money.
It's not The Last Blood.
No,
there's gonna be a Next Blood.
Last Blood 2.
Yeah.
That's how it. Yeah.
You know how Stallone is. He'll milk a cow until it's fucking dry and just mooing in pain.
I want to see him do a Rocky Rambo crossover. Like
Don't think he hasn't thought about that.
Like he's in the streets of Philly on an undercover job, and he just sees Rocky walking by, going into Adrian's restaurant. And he's like, I should try the food there. I heard it's good.
He's definitely really thought about that. I would not put that past him. He's definitely called up CGI people and been like, let's price this. How can we make this happen? And for some reason, nobody was buying it.
Nobody's buying it.
He doesn't direct this one.
Good.
He did write the screenplay.
Of course he
did. Him
and
and someone named Matthew Kurlnick.
Does it really matter?
Actually, did he direct the Rambos? He directed the first Rambo, I think. First Blood.
Did he do First Blood?
Let me look it up.
No.
He might not have directed any of the Rambos. But he definitely wrote them. No, the first Rambo was George P. Cosmatos. And it's based on a book, which I think the book was like a real story, but now we're completely in fucking La La Land. So that's First Blood. No, sorry, First Blood is Ted Kotchoff, the person I just said he directed part 2. What's
after the stick fights?
Yeah,
I was like, oh, this really takes a dramatic turn from what we saw in the first one.
Yeah.
Because the first one...
he doesn't kill any... This is like trivia that people don't realize. He doesn't kill anyone in the first one.
No, he just maims them.
Yeah, and he sets up traps for them. Whereas in the other ones, he kills...
everybody.
Tons of people.
Yeah.
I mean, insane amounts of people. Yeah, let's see. He didn't direct part 3 either. He may not have directed any of them. John Rambo.
Well, Rocky was the bigger bread and butter for him, right?
Yeah, Rocky was definitely bigger.
Yeah.
But this was his other... He directed John Rambo. That's the only one in the series he's directed. So he directed the 4th one.
So what year was First Blood the original one, not First Blood 2? Because I don't know how you can have First Blood... I don't know how you can have 2 First Bloods. Shouldn't you have only 1 First Blood?
Well, it refers to... First Blood means, like, if we're fighting...
Who gets blood first?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why, because at the end, the colonel is talking to him, and in the first one, and Rambo's like, they drew first blood.
That's what they used to do back in the day. Yeah. They used to tie in the... Okay. So is it 82?
Yeah, 82.
Pre-Rocky 3.
Yeah, and then Rambo First Blood Part 2 is 85.
Right after Rocky 4, where he's just shredded.
I like that you have all the Rockies memorized. And then Rambo 3 is 88.
Okay.
John Rambo is not that long ago. I feel like
09?
John Rambo was 08.
And then Rocky Balboa comes out in 08. 09. Christmas of 09, yeah.
Yeah. Those were two together.
Yeah.
And they also have the same Rocky Balboa and John Rambo. He did the same bit for both of them.
So now, the first Rocky and I think the first Rambo, to me, are his two best movies. In terms of just being an artist and being an actor.
I guess, yeah, definitely the first Rocky is
you don't think,
probably the apex of his writing.
No, I think the apex of his writing, the apex of his acting, I think it was later on with Ryan Coogler, but
yeah.
I think if you watch him, specifically that ending scene in First Blood,
yeah,
where he talks about the seriousness of not being respected,
yeah,
and being disrespected as an American soldier coming home.
Right, that whole soliloquy he gives about they spit on us,
tell me I kill babies.
Yeah.
And then when he's talking about how his friend died and I'm trying to put it back together.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, wait a minute. He's really good there.
He's trying to say something.
He is. You don't think so?
I think we got to take a break.
Fuck, I really want to stay with this. All right.
We'll come back with some chill sesh. Welcome back to Pop Culture Man Children PCMC. I'm Mike Bongiorno. I'm here today with the man who puts the chill and pop culture man children, the OG,
Tom Brokaw.
Mr.
Ladies and gentlemen, how are you? This is Tom Brokaw, NBC.
That's a horrible impression.
NBC Nightly News.
It's turning into Bill Cosby. Mr. Emilio Sparks.
How you doing?
It's great to have you.
It's a pleasure to be here, Michael.
So,
how are you?
I'm great.
You look good.
Thank you. You look good as well.
You're losing some weight, I see.
Yes, I've lost 17 pounds.
Are you doing the Atkins?
No, I've been doing Weight Watchers, which is an app.
How many points?
I get 28 a day.
And how do you judge what's 28 points?
You just type it into the app and it tells you how many points things are. And then you eventually remember what things are.
So what is a point thing that you would like to eat?
I'll eat a veggie burger for 3 points, and I'll put that with some veggies, and veggies are 0. So that'll be like a dinner.
So that's 3 points.
Yeah.
So you're eating a total of 6.
No.
The veggie burger's 3.
Yeah.
What are the veggies?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Veggies are 0.
Really?
Yeah.
Now what happens if you want a carb?
Carbs cost more.
How many points is a carb?
Like a bagel is like 14.
Oh, then you almost...
That's like half your day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have to be real smart with the points.
It's all about budgeting, Emilio. It's
yes,
all
it
about
is.
budgeting.
Yeah.
This is the chill sesh. We're already into it. We're already chilling.
Yeah. I want to know, what's the most pointiest thing you've ever eaten, and then you had to be like, oh, shit, I got to ration my points for the rest of the day.
That's a great question, and I'm happy to answer it. I got the glazed donut from Starbucks because it was I was running, late one morning, and I thought, oh, I'll look it up. I'm sure it's... Because most donuts are 8 points. I looked it up. It was 21 points. It's got more points than any other donut available anywhere. And I was like, oh, fuck. That was my whole fucking day. And by the way, the glazed donut at Starbucks it's delicious.
It's good?
Yeah, it's rich.
Are we in PSL season?
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
Yes. So.
Oh, great question, Emilio. I can read your mind. How many points is one squirt of the syrup?
I was just going to ask that.
It's 2 points. So sometimes I have my black coffee with 2 squirts, make it a 4-point coffee with a little pumpkin.
But how is the squirts only 2 points? I would assume
1 squirt is 2 points.
Yeah, but I would assume that it's more because of the sugar.
No.
Because if the donut is 14...
Well, it's just 1 squirt. It's it's not a lot. It's,
Okay. Now what about a bowl of pasta?
Pasta's going to be a lot because it's carby. Carbs tend to be more.
Do you go to the meetings?
No, I don't do that. I just do the app.
Why don't you want to do the meeting?
I used to do the meetings, and eventually I was just like, well, this feels like a cult. I eventually grew out of them. And then I started working for Weight Watchers for a little while, and I didn't like that either. So I can't go to a meeting. But I like it the way it is now, where it's an app.
Okay. So limited human interaction.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Oh, Emilio, you wanted to talk about the Amazing Jonathan.
Well, I was.
Which one? There's 5.
Yeah, well, I think the one that's on Hulu.
The Hulu is the best one.
Well, it's the only one that I've watched.
The one on Hulu, which is just called The Amazing Jonathan Documentary, is the one that I think is, I mean, it's the only one I've seen, but it's not a lot about Amazing Jonathan. It ends up being about the director of it.
Which to me shows how much, I don't want to say a scumbag, but Amazing Jonathan was a scumbag.
Why? Because he smokes meth every day?
No, it has nothing to do with the meth. It's just, it's a little bit scummy. You have 4 different people shooting the same documentary 4 different ways.
Right. You begin this documentary that's like, here's Amazing Jonathan's life, and then Amazing Jonathan got sick, and now I'm documenting him in his last days.
Because you start to feel sorry for the Amazing Jonathan. Because I remember watching the Amazing Jonathan on television.
Right, I loved him.
He
only ever had one act, though.
It was the same act over and over again.
Drinking the Windex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sniffing the cocaine.
Yeah.
Doing the straw through the nose, showing like, hey, look, cocaine's burned a hole through my nose. Really funny.
I used to run around naked, but now I drink this and it stops me from streaking.
Did you see Carrot Top giving him praise?
Yeah, of course Carrot Top gives him praise.
Come on.
Eric Andre was giving him a lot of praise.
Yes, he was.
I think he was great.
He was.
So you get to a point.
Chris Angel loves him.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
My freak.
Amazing Jonathan's like, you know what? I'm sick of waiting to die. Even though I'm sick, let me go back out on the road. So the documentarian's like, okay, I'll follow you. And then when they get to the first show, he's like, oh, there's another crew here. And the director of the movie is like, what do you mean? And he's like, yeah, there's another documentary crew here. You know, they said they did Searching for Sugarman, was that it?
Yeah, Searching for Sugarman.
He said, you know, they've won Oscars, so Man on a Wire.
Man on a Wire and Searching for Sugarman.
These are the directors of Man on a Wire, so I couldn't say no. So now he's like, there are 2 competing, and you see them like fighting over, you know, where to put the cameras, and then you find out there's a third one that was filming before both of the 2 that we know. And then I think there's a 4th one too.
There was a 4th one.
And then we find out that the second one, the Man on a Wire one, those 2 people were
liars,
basically. All they did was they borrowed cameras from one of the directors of that movie.
Yeah.
So they were like, oh, he's involved.
No, he's not involved.
And theirs is the one that's on YouTube, the Streets of YouTube Amazing Jonathan documentary.
And it's not good because 28 people went to the Just for Laughs festival in Toronto.
Yeah, that was a cool scene though. That
was a cool scene.
The director of the Hulu one is there in the audience asking, he has a plant asking questions about.
Yeah. I would have did the same thing.
Yeah, because they go, how did the plant, who's an actor, he's there to challenge them. And he's like, so how would you say this is different from the process of filming Man on a Wire? And they have a really.
And he asks it again.
He has the directors have a clever answer where they don't say. They don't address why you would ask that. He goes, well, that was a big movie with a lot of money, and this movie wasn't. But they don't say that wasn't us.
Yeah.
So
smart.
But then there's the ending of the Hulu one, which, spoiler alert for the mildly entertaining ending of the Hulu one, which is the director of our documentary. We'll call our documentary the Hulu one. He goes to see the producer of those movies, and he's like, are you involved in an Amazing Jonathan movie? And he's like, no, I've never heard of it. He's like, do you know these guys who are making these other movies? Like, no. He finds out later that he lent one of them cameras. And then he's like, do you want to produce my movie? And then in the end, Amazing Jonathan got what he wanted, which was, because I think the sad thing you see about Amazing Jonathan is he wants relevance and fame. Because there's that sad scene in the end where he's at his mother's birthday party. She's like 90,000, and he's going around going, "Oh, did you hear this? We got the documentary's got a new producer." And it's like it's.
But how much is that is bit though? Because he's old school magician. He's old school Vegas. So how much of that is bit?
I don't know. I don't know if
because he has the money,
right?
He has the house.
I think he wants.
He was doing sold out shows,
but I think he wants to be known. I think he wants to be remembered. Part of we didn't mention that part of the sort of middle of the Hulu documentary, which I think they built it all on, but to me is the weakest part of it, is the director begins to wonder, is he actually really dying? Maybe that was like an Andy Kaufman-esque prank.
Well, that's because...
But no way that's because you see the man, he looks like bones.
Yeah. And he's very tired in the way he speaks and even the way he moves.
Right. So
but he's also...
It's fake drama.
Well, also for a man that's on amphetamines...
Right.
You know,
he takes his medicine.
He takes his medicine.
Or vitamins. He takes his vitamins every day.
But his wife said the same thing, though. And that's what that's when I knew, like, oh, shit, they're getting the same content over and over again.
Right.
Because the wife, they showed footage of the wife saying the same thing to the same 3 different directors.
Right. They've got their...
Had he told me that he was smoking meth when I first met him, I would have been out the door.
Right. Because there's a weird montage where he shows a bunch of other footage of the other, the fourth guy who was making the documentary. He's like, you can have my footage, and you see that like some of the anecdotes and same jokes.
And then his friend says, "Yo, he says if it's a funny line, he'll run it to death."
Right.
And then it's always the same line.
I do believe that he's always on, but I never for a second believed that he was faking his illness. Never for a second. All right,
so maybe not faking the illness, but how about the extremity of the illness? Because if you're supposed to live 1 year, with congenital heart disease, and you last 3, now, what? Now 4, maybe 5.
Don't you feel like you hear that story a lot? They gave me 1 year, and here I am 3 years later.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe doctors lowball it for legal reasons.
But even the wife said, you know, I've seen normal hearts, and if you take your hand and you start going into your, like, putting it into, like making it a fist, but doing it really, really fast, that's what your normal heartbeat is supposed to be.
Yeah.
She said that and she only moved her index finger
right.
slowly.
Right, it's barely pumping.
Well,
maybe the meth is what keeps him going. The director of the movie smokes meth with him, but not on camera.
Allegedly. We don't know if he really did it because there was a box put in his face.
Right. Because he calls a lawyer, and the lawyer says, you should not show it.
Which I don't think he did that, because if he did, he probably would have been tweaking.
But they showed him the next day looking very not proud of himself.
I think he was acting.
Okay.
But then they have
that... So he's the magician.
Oh, he's definitely the magician, because then we also got that montage of him growing up, filming, and his mother.
Right, he's obsessed with death because his mother died when he was young.
Yeah.
See, I think the weakest part of the documentary
There's a lot in
is the director. I feel like he's supposed to be our guy.
He's not.
And I was like, I'm not that. I got to a point where I was like, I don't know, let's show more Jonathan. It becomes about this other guy.
Well, that's what the documentary is supposed to be.
That's what it was supposed to be, yeah.
But then
that's what I signed up for.
Exactly. And that they call it The Amazing Jonathan.
Right, not this fucking director.
I don't care about the fucking director.
Yeah.
But you make it about the director because Jonathan's pulling the old Scamaruski.
Why? By having other
directors. So the guy's like, well, how do I make my documentary different from everybody else's?
It is crazy and scummy that he said yes to multiple documentaries, knowing that they would be competing with each other. That's definitely... I wouldn't argue that Amazing Jonathan is a scumbag, but I would argue that... I don't know, that it was like all like a big prank or a big trick or whatever.
See, that's why I think he's very carny, and he probably keeps it old school, where he's like, I'm going to let them do what they got to do, but I know which one's going to be the better product.
I don't know. And that last scene when the director of our movie says, oh, I got the producer of Man on the Wire to actually come on board, so you got your dream. Jonathan goes, but what about the other movie? Wasn't he involved in the other movie? Like not getting it, and then the director of our movie's like, oh, like
no, he wasn't.
He wasn't. He doesn't say you were fooled, but he says he wasn't. And I feel like I feel like Jonathan was fooled.
He was fooled.
I don't think he was a part of that. I think the two directors.
No, I think that going into it, he probably thought, oh shit, here's a 2-time Academy Award winning documentary.
So they pulled one over on him.
Yes. And then he was just like, well, shit, I'm gonna let them all film.
Yeah,
the same shit, and then
I don't think he realized that one had been pulled over on him until the end of our documentary.
But he still gets what he wants anyway.
Right, because our director really cares about him and is like, I'm going to make his dream come true.
Well, if you look at it like, the first 20 minutes starts off hot. It's really good.
Yeah.
Like, really good.
Right.
I'm like, oh, shit. And then it starts to hit that wall.
Yeah.
And you're like, this is not good.
Right. Because I love Jonathan. Like, I wanted to know more about Jonathan.
Yeah. Like, the stuff that with his mom was really cool.
Yeah.
He didn't have the best relationship with his dad because his dad passed away before he really became this big star.
Yeah.
And, for a while, Jonathan was known.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like he was, because he did both. He did a mixture of comedy and magic.
Right.
At the time, which was, his comedy was really edgy, but it was also real 80s. So it was cocaine, it was women. Like even the tricks were, oh shit. Like most magicians, especially like oh god, who was the old one? The old magician that looks like George Carlin in the film.
Oh, I forget his name, but he's like an old school dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like even he was saying you gotta do it.
You gotta go out there and
go out there and do it.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta live. You gotta do it. And if you die on stage,
he's still alive.
It's the ultimate win.
I think he wants to die on stage. I really do.
I think a lot of them do.
They show some other guy who dies on stage. Yeah. There's footage of some comedian that died on stage.
Some comedian from
People
England.
thought he was doing a bit. People laughed.
He died.
Fuck. Somebody once died on the Dick Cavett show, a guest.
Really?
Yeah,
from
but
boredom?
They never aired it.
Was it from boredom?
No, not from boredom. Oh. Well, all right. Well, what else? Anything else you've seen or read, or anything else interesting to you lately?
I'm still on the Baywatch.
What season are you in?
I'm in 5.
Okay.
And I honestly believe that it is the greatest series in the world, and Mitch Buchanan is a superhero.
Sure.
I don't know any other lifeguards that will stop kidnappings or a RV from going over a cliff, or rescue their son who's hanging from a parasailer.
A lot of this sounds out of his jurisdiction.
That's what I would assume.
Jurisdiction.
You know, he rescued. He had to perform surgery.
Sure.
He had to remove a bullet.
Why not?
Even though he was kidnapped, he still had to.
That's not going to stop him.
No, he went undercover to solve a murder.
How many episodes do you watch a day? You do 1 a day or 2 a day?
I try to do 2, maybe 3.
Wow.
Yeah, I try to give it like a good 3 hours of the watch.
So that's a big part of
my day.
Yeah,
oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. I got a lot of episodes I got to cover. There's still a lot of ground to cover. I'm still in like maybe 120 episodes.
Jesus Christ,
it's a lot of Baywatch.
But
you have to watch.
Is it so bad it's good?
Yeah, you have to watch an episode with me. Could you watch an episode?
I've watched episodes.
No.
Bad.
But when was the last time you watched an episode of Baywatch?
Oh, I don't know.
Well, you have to see that Mitch Buchanan. He's a superhero, but he's also a really good dad. And now we're getting into the age where Hobie's 13 and he's inquisitive and he starts to become a man. And, you know, so now you have this weird father-son dynamic where you're seeing more episodes about the kid and, you know, it's not really so Pam Anderson-centric.
Okay.
You know? It's good.
Is it though?
It's good in a way really that it's good? Bad.
Oh, okay. Because I'm not sure what you were getting out of it.
I'm like, okay, I can watch this and not hate it.
Because you like sappy shit.
But it's not even really that sappy.
I've given up on This Is Us. We had whole episodes on This Is Us.
Yeah, we did.
Early on.
I'm still in
Pop Culture
I'm still in.
I gave up after Jack died. I realized, and it wasn't that I was just waiting for him to die. It was like, to me, that felt like a natural ending.
Yeah.
I have this theory that every TV show has a natural ending. And you could sense it. And then once it goes over that, it's never good again.
So Jack's death, you feel, is the natural ending.
That was the natural ending of all the themes and the narrative threads that started in the beginning of the show.
Even though none of the children have ever made peace with their father's passing.
Yeah.
So now where do they go from that?
I don't know. No one ever makes peace with their parents' passing.
No, but...
You don't get over it.
No, but you should get some closure.
Yeah, it felt like the end for me. And the show knows that too. That's why the show's like, hey, guess what? You were wondering how Jack died. That was the whole reason you tuned in. How about he has a brother?
Yeah. And that's in season 3.
How about this future? Like, they're just gonna keep pulling rabbits out of hats, and at some point, it's gonna be like, come on.
Yeah, we're over this.
When I started to see the brother thing happening, I was like, oh fuck, no.
I mean, but that's how you keep Jack in the series, though. Because the series, I don't think the series has a leg to stand on when it's the 3 adult kids. I think you give a shit about Jack and Rebecca. Because now, I don't know.
I think it's equal.
You think so?
Yeah, I think
outside of Randall, I don't give a shit about Kevin, nor do I give a shit about Kate.
I care about Kate, or I did care about Kate and Toby and their birth and all of that.
Yeah.
They're trying to have a kid and stuff. And then you have old Rebecca. I don't know. I think that
they don't even give us old Rebecca. She's just more like a fucking. She's just there.
All right, let's go with your argument that you can't have the show without him. That just proves my point that they're just adding more shit because they know. Oh fuck, we need him in the show. How do we get him in the show?
Because that's what they're doing with
Let's give him mysterious siblings and stuff.
We're giving him a brother, and they're talking about Vietnam because that was a plot point where Jack never discussed.
Right.
You know? And Kevin was trying to find who this mysterious woman was in a picture with Jack, and he thought Jack had another. No, Jack didn't have another wife before your mom.
Right.
No, it was just somebody was taking photos on a Polaroid and just caught Jack being nice, helping the villagers when he was in Vietnam.
That's the thing about this show, which is it's half of it is just cornball drama, and then the other half of it is sort of fake trickery, fake suspense. You know what I mean? From the very first episode, when they're like, Grandma and Grandpa are in here, and you see that it's Rebecca and Miguel, you're like, whoa, that wasn't what I was expecting. Or no, that's the second episode. The first episode is Jack smokes. And you're like, oh, he's smoking in a hospital. And then you realize, oh, he's the dad of the other three I've seen.
Yeah.
From that gimmick on, it keeps going.
That episode's really good, though.
What, the pilot?
The pilot episode's great.
Yeah, it is. But you
again,
can't
I think
keep pulling rabbits out of hats.
No, but I also just think that, Milo is just a really good actor. So,
yeah.
He really is the glue.
So what's going on in the story right now?
What I just told you. Randall's running for, this is what I'm up to right now. Randall's running for public office in Philly.
How's that affecting his marriage?
Up and down, but for right now, Beth's all on board.
Okay.
I'm not up to the part where they're starting to have marital issues.
Okay.
But she just finally...
Oh, so you're catching up with it.
Yeah, I'm catching up. So she just finally admits to him that she had a depression from being let go from her job because she loved her job and she loved being there. And she's having a hard time finding work and being a stay-at-home mom.
Yes.
Tending to 3 children.
How's Deja doing?
Oh, she's the best. Like, she's become the big sister that Annie and Tess needed.
Okay.
And she also helps Beth. Like in a roundabout way, Deja's kind of like, you need to work on your shit because I came from someone that couldn't work on their shit.
Yeah.
And I need you just as much as you need me.
Isn't that a little bit too much of the stereotype of, like, the magic African-American who, like, knows everything? Like, this child who grew up in this horrible squalor, she somehow has a wisdom from her suffering, and she's gonna help these rich people.
Yeah. And then you have Kevin, who not only is trying to find out about his father's past and who his father was, or maybe if you were a better fucking son, you would understand your father, you would have had a better relationship with your father, because Randall has a better relationship with Jack than Kevin did.
Yeah.
So now you're trying to find out all about his military past.
Yeah. And
now you're also trying to have a serious relationship with Beth's cousin, who is a documentary filmmaker.
Okay.
And she's more like a go with the flow. Beth calls her a man-eater in one of the earlier episodes.
Okay.
But I just think that she is a woman that does not like to be tied down, told what to do, or have a label placed on her.
I see.
And I really like her for Kevin because she calls Kevin out on his shit. And I think Kevin needs that because his head is always so in the clouds. And you see his movie career is starting to take off and he's becoming this really big deal. So that's that.
Yeah.
And then you have Toby and Kate. Everything what they're doing with having the struggles of trying to have a child.
Yeah.
Now she's pregnant. His depression. It's a lot. Mm-hmm. It's a lot.
And you're still entertained by this.
A little bit, because I want to see where this goes, because you've invested in the first 2 seasons. Now season 4 is coming out, and it's like, all right, well, I never
feel that way.
No?
I never feel like,
you don't feel
I'm
because
so
you put
invested.
The time in, though?
No, I feel like I did it. I feel like I always feel like I've got a taste of it. I know enough about it that I have not turned my back on a part of pop culture. Like, I watched, I think, 3 seasons of Game of Thrones very, very quickly. I binged them. And then I was like, okay, I got it. Now, I'm sure you can argue, oh, it gets better later, or it gets worse later, or you didn't even see this thing happen, or you didn't even see that thing happen.
I've never seen it. Actually, I've only seen 2 episodes. And I can't even tell you what goes on. I don't even know who the characters are. I was just at a friend's house hanging out. And he was like, yo, me and my wife are going to watch Game of Thrones. You want to stay? I was like, fuck is Game of Thrones?
So you didn't know what Game of Thrones was? Would you live under a rock?
No, I knew what it was, but what is it about, though? Like, what the fuck is it about?
What
is it about?
It's like a political drama, but set in a mythological land.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, I don't know where I lost you there, but
I'm good. I don't need to know about stuff.
Well, that's where I'm different because I wanted a taste of it. I like to have a taste of everything. Yeah. I don't like to have anything that I'm like I know nothing about. Like I'll force myself to watch things that I don't like just to be like, all right, what is this?
Yeah. Well, I'm just really big on revisiting stuff now. Like watching stuff from my childhood that I probably did not grasp or understand.
I do that very little. Like as much as I'm into nostalgia with like, Star Wars and stuff, I'm not about going back and rewatching the movies and rewatching the sitcoms.
Even if it's like the content was way above your head when you were younger, and then you could watch it now and appreciate it and be like, oh shit, this is good.
No,
this is really good.
No. Not really, no. I don't think anything was above my head. I mean, when I rewatched Clue, I understood the Cold War setting more than I did as a kid. Or just
even to watch something that, like you vaguely remember. Like I was not a big Baywatch kid growing up.
Right.
But now I'm sitting there watching it and
But it definitely wasn't, it's not like it was complex and was going over your head.
No. Well,
I'm sure you could have got it as a child.
Course, but I wasn't paying attention to that. I didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
All I was watching was wrestling and cartoons.
Mm-hmm.
But then I wanted to go back and watch the X-Men series and watch Batman the animated series. Yeah. And a lot of things go over your head with those things because they weren't geared towards kids.
Well, they were. It's just you can look back now and you can pay attention to the complexity of the execution
because you're paying attention to it.
Yeah,
that's why.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's what I've been doing. I've just been doing, and I've been reading a whole bunch of just other things.
Okay,
but we can talk about that on a later day.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Let's take a break and we'll come back with obsessions and I'll show you. I'll reveal my tattoo. We'll see if you're right.
I think one of my 5 makes sense.
All right.
Yeah. Very excited.
We'll come back.
All right.
And we're back. This is Pop Culture Man Children, PCMC. I'm Mike Bongiorno. If you're new to Pop Culture Man Children, this is a show that deals with pop culture ephemera, all sorts of movies and TV and video games and life. Not really music. Sorry, not really music. Not even that much video games, really.
It's just things that you like. Fuck everybody else's taste.
Yeah.
So for Pop Culture Man Children,
but
you should just say Pop Culture Mike Bongiorno because it's what you like.
But that's why I have all the co-hosts. Like, you'll come in and you'll tell me some shit about Baywatch. Janine will talk about Game of Thrones. I don't know what the fuck she's saying.
Yeah.
Vin will... I don't know what the fuck Vin's talking about.
Vin's all over the spectrum.
Yeah. My brother's very brainy. He reads
books,
things.
A lot of books.
Yeah.
A lot of books.
So that's the thing. It's not all... It's not just me.
It's not all Star Wars.
It's not all me. You're right. It would be... If it were just me, it would be terrible.
I want to hear an all Bongiorno episode. Just you for an hour by yourself.
Maybe I'll do that for the 200th episode.
I think you should.
Just me alone.
Just the alone episode.
It would just... Oh, it would be terrible.
It would just be Star Wars for 1 hour.
There's one episode where I'm alone. It's a mini where I'm reading scary stories to tell in the dark, but there's a lot of just reading in it. Well, you've got a sheet in front of you with a bunch of guesses as to what you think my tattoo is.
So Mikey has a new tattoo that he's been covering the entire time we've been recording.
Just got it this morning,
and I want to know what it is. Now, it's a small little black piece of plastic with tape around his forearm.
Yeah, the bandage looks like a garbage bag.
It's not the top of the forearm, it's the bottom of the forearm.
Sort of inside, yeah.
Where the palm of the hand is open.
Yes.
So now I want to know what it is. So judging by Mike's first tattoo, well, not his first, but one of many, but 3, right, Mike? You have 3 now?
Yeah, 3.
Okay. You have a TARDIS on your bicep.
You came up in segment 1 with a couple of good...
So in segment 1, I wrote up a list of how well do I know Michael Christopher Bongiorno.
They remember. They just heard it.
Maybe they do. Maybe they don't. I don't know. It's called setting the table and bringing it back.
Yeah, you set the table when you want to. You don't when you don't want to. Your skill set is very, very shaky.
No, it's not shaky. It's just I just this is what I like to do.
Okay.
It's just making it's called heightening. Can I heighten?
No.
All right, you don't want to heighten.
The audience, they get it.
So anyway, the first one, my first guess is a Star Wars tattoo.
That's a damn good guess.
Something Star Wars.
That's a fine guess.
My second guess is something to do with Doctor Who, maybe a quote.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe something in Gallifreyan. I don't know.
Gallifreyan? Come on, don't embarrass yourself in front of the people.
Then I thought maybe a quote, because Mike likes books.
Sure.
And Mike's a reader. You know, maybe it was something minimal, hipstery.
Mm-hmm.
Then I thought, okay, well, maybe something could do with the Ghostbusters. I'm thinking the logo.
Yes.
I'm thinking the logo.
Yeah.
Because it's real simple. It's real minimalist.
Yes.
You know, all it is just logo and ghost.
Yeah.
So there's really no real, like, whatever.
You don't have to put color in it.
You don't. And I feel that...
Because you know my style is black
and gray. And I also know that you like the Ghostbusters.
No, the gray is my skin.
Yeah, well, that's how it is. You eat a carrot.
Yeah.
So, but I also know that Ghostbusters, second to Star Wars, is your thing.
Yeah.
Like, so if I know you, your first thing is Star Wars, your second thing is Ghostbusters, your third would be Who, and then your fourth would be Masters of the Universe.
Probably, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
God, I really know you.
Yeah. I don't. Those are the things I like to hit on in terms of fandom.
Yeah, fandom-wise. I'm not saying these things that make you tick.
Yeah.
But these are the three. So now I'm curious to see...
I want you to pick one. I want you to put your money down and see, all right, I'm going to say this is what it's going to be.
Okay. All right. If I had to do a choice, Doctor Who's out because you already have a Doctor Who tattoo. It's too small for a quote. Masters of the Universe with He-Man. It's just way too grandiose for you.
So we've got two big ones here: Star Wars and Ghostbusters. I don't know. It's the right size for the what do you call it? The Rebel.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna go with that because I think you, knowing you, I think you want to go with something that is going to be a conversation piece, and people will be, oh shit, that's cool.
Yes,
but it's not. Oh wow. It's not overly like ostentatious, and it's not like fucking beating you in the face.
Yes.
So Star Wars is out.
Okay.
Because I don't think you would put two lightsabers crossing or a Darth Vader helmet.
No.
And I can't see you doing the Rebels logo either.
Yeah. So
I'm gonna go with Ghostbusters, and I think that you did. Do I have to pick one thing, or can I do two things, or can I just say one thing? You know what? I'm gonna go with easy peasy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with that. It was the Ghostbusters logo.
All right. Are you ready?
I am ready.
Are you at home ready?
Oh, they are.
This is a real test because it'll show. It's almost like the dating game. It's like,
I've been dating you for
Emilio
so long.
Right?
I've been dating you for so long. As Mike is removing the bandage.
Ooh, it hurts on the fucking, what do you call it?
The hair? Well, that's why it's taped, dear. Why don't you come over here and speak into the microphone? Come here.
Ooh, hold on.
I want them to hear the tape.
Talk.
Oh, I want them to hear the tape as you're pulling it off and going, ooh, ow, ow, fuck, tattoo, ow. Wow, they really taped that son of a bitch down, huh? Like, I can see your skin peeling. God damn, I was right. Hot damn.
Yep. It's the Ghostbusters symbol.
I love it. That's pretty too.
It's gorgeous.
And I like how simple it is. You didn't even color in that symbol lines.
Simple lines.
Love it. Clean.
Beautiful.
She did a beautiful job.
She did.
Who did this?
Sonia.
You gonna let it breathe a little bit?
Yeah, now we gotta let it breathe. We're gonna let the ghost breathe.
So now what made you get the ghost? Wow, and I really do know you.
Well, you picked exactly what it was.
Yeah. It was just through the process of elimination, really. Yeah. Like, and really knowing you.
I don't know if I'd be able to do the same to you, though. I don't know if I'd be able... Well, you already have a tattoo that's kind of meaningless.
Yeah, I hate it. If I could do it all over again...
I'm 18 and Italian-American. Here's some weird...
Yeah, here's a gun. Here's some flowers.
Here's some nothing.
Here's some bullshit quote that I was trying to be deep with. Fake deep.
Right.
Like I said, that's why I think we should just cut it off my skin. Really.
Well, one of these days you can do it.
Yeah. And I can't get... Like, you have cool things that are indicative to your personality. The thing that I have just sucks. I mean, it's pretty. It's a fucking work of art. Like, it's really nice.
How old were you when you got it?
I was young. I was real young. I was like maybe 23, maybe 24.
I got my first tattoo on my 18th birthday. And that's the one I like the least because it's just like, it's just a symbol. It's Asian. I don't even know what language it is. And I don't really know what it means. I was told it means like to think. But I don't fucking know.
Yeah, but but the TARDIS is you. The Ghostbusters symbol is you.
Yeah.
I'm shocked that, now I know you're not a conservative in your thought, but, you're conservative in your style of dress and, anything, above the sleeve. I thought, wow, like, oh shit, like, this is real.
Well, with the TARDIS, I put the TARDIS right on my bicep. And I liked putting it out there like that. Up and down? Yeah, I liked putting it out there like that. So I said, let me go further with the arms, and this one's on my forearm. There's no real hiding this. I would have to wear a long sleeve shirt, which I don't even own any long sleeve shirts.
Fuck it.
So it is. Yeah, I want it. I at some point I'd like just. I don't want any on my back or my chest. I would keep putting them on my arms.
I'll say I don't want any on my arms. I just put it on my back because I'm not going to see it.
First of all, on a female, a sleeve is so beautiful.
Yeah, it's nice.
It's beautiful, and I just want to be beautiful.
You are beautiful though. So what made you get the Ghostbusters?
Well, even though obviously I'm a big fan of Ghostbusters, they mean different things to me. Like the TARDIS to me means you can go anywhere. And the Ghostbuster symbol means you can laugh at the things that scare you. So that's what it means to me. Because I got right now is September, we're recording on like September 7th, I think. My birthday is September 4th. I just turned 36. But my sober birthday is September 15th. So I got the TARDIS last year on my sober birthday for 4 years sober. So this, even though it's not exactly the day, this Ghostbusters one symbolizes 5 years of sobriety. And I will keep getting more, but I'll always get them in September.
Okay, that's cool.
September's the time to do it.
So you're going to just do pop culture sleeves?
I don't know what comes next. Probably something Star Warsy.
I think it should.
Or E.T. I really thought about, for this one, getting Elliot in E.T., like the silhouette of them like going over the moon, like getting that.
Oh, that's cool.
Because I wanted to keep with the theme of it just being black lines.
Yeah.
So I was like, how do I do that with E.T.?
Yeah, no, that's cool.
The weirdest thing is that they shave like your arm. So like,
because you're hairy. And
I've got like a bold arm.
So would you start shaving your arms more?
I mean, if I got super swole, bro.
You might.
I would. I'd put on the baby oil. No baby oil. Maybe that's my next one.
No baby oil?
No, Andre as Fezzik.
That's a lot of work. Well, no, there might be an actual minimalist Andre the Giant like cartoon.
How could I represent the Princess Bride minimally?
Let's see. I'm gonna Google this.
There's no like prop that you could really think of as like it represents it, except for like the chocolate medicine. But that just looks like a bowl of shit. People would be like, "Why do you have a chunk of shit on your arm?"
But I love it though. I think it's great. Let's.
It never looks. To be honest, it never looks better than it does the day you get it, because it's so crisp and clean, and it hasn't healed yet. When it heals, I mean, it stays as time goes on. Every tattoo fades a little bit because your white blood cells are trying to heal it.
Yes. You know what you could do for the Princess Bride?
What?
Just get the words "as you wish."
Yes. Or just a black cartoon of a peanut, and underneath it says, "Anybody want a peanut?"
You can do that, but see that goes with. That's the just
Yeah. So this is my obsession, my Ghostbusters tattoo. I love it.
I think it's great,
and it's something I won't regret because it's the fucking Ghostbusters. Where am I going to stop liking Ghostbusters now? I would have stopped in 2016.
No, you got to do it.
I do. I did think about the no symbol, coloring that in, making it a solid black. But I was like, no, it looks cleaner just as the outline.
No, it's perfect.
To me, that looks really good. I know I'm going against like 90% of tattoo art. And I know that some people have really beautiful, like our friend Kat has really beautiful colored art. But for me, I don't know. I don't like that. I don't want you putting yellow in my skin. You know what I mean? It's weird to me. Like, just put the black. I like prison style.
No, that's great. I'm looking at some Princess Bride tattoos now.
Oh, what do you got there?
Well, his sword.
Okay.
Then they also have Dread Pirate Roberts.
Okay, his sort of
mask and like
a quote that says "Life is pain."
Life is pain.
Well, that's deep.
That is.
That's a real fucking neckbeard. Got that.
Then they have a silhouette of Carrie Elwes's face with the words "As You Wish,"
and it's got it looks like a skull and crossbones. Yeah. The two swords crossing. That's clever.
Yeah. Let's see if we find anything with Fezzik. Just a lot of "As You Wishes," and then this one is really cool. Hello, my name is Diego Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die. And it has Mandy Patinkin's face.
Yeah.
Which I like.
It actually doesn't have the face. It just has the hair and the mustache.
But you could tell it's him, though.
Oh, yeah. That's Patinkin all the way.
Let's see. What else? A lot of As You Wishes.
Yeah.
No Andre, though.
As You Wish. There's some Vicini.
Yeah, they have that. I could see you do. I could see you having As You Wish as your next one.
Honestly, I probably wouldn't do Princess Bride as much as I love that movie.
Yeah.
The next one probably will be Star Wars. But the thing is, I've thought about this. I don't want the Rebel symbol. So I don't want the Imperial symbol. I don't want a lightsaber. I don't want one of the ones that everyone has.
So what do you want?
I have no fucking idea.
Do you want to get? Do you just want to get the Boba Fett's helmet?
No, I don't want. It's not that I'm trying to be original, but I don't want something that you just look at and go, oh, it's another Star Wars tattoo. There's a million
like it. What about BB-8?
You know what I think is cool? BB-8 in just black would be really cool.
No. You know
just the black outline,
yeah.
I mean.
You know what I think would be cool? Maybe an outline of just C-3PO and R2.
Just like just like the outline. Yeah.
Right on the bicep.
Yeah. That would be cool.
Like the inside of the bicep, and it's just an outline of them, like.
Or maybe
like looking up.
Yeah. I like that.
That would be cool.
Or a ship. Or like just a simple outline of Millennium Falcon.
See, that would be really cool.
Yeah.
You're a wide open canvas.
I've got a lot of real estate here.
A lot of skin.
Got a lot of real estate here.
I don't know if I'd ever get one again.
It's I didn't look. I got my first one at 18. I got my second one last year, and then I just got this one today. So I feel like I'm getting into it now. When I was younger, I was more like I don't know. I didn't have the money for one thing, but also I was like, oh my god, you'll have it forever. And it's like I don't know. Now I'm more like, well, I'll die. It's fine. Yeah. You know what I also thought about doing?
Stop picking at it already.
No, I'm picking cotton off of the stickiness. I thought about getting some tribute to my dog Max, who passed away. I don't know. Maybe like his face or something, or maybe just the words Max on a bone. I don't know. I mourn for Max every day of my life. A day doesn't go by that I don't think about Maxie boy. He was the best. I mean, I love Lucy, but I was very close to Max. What's your obsession?
I'm really not obsessed with anything, but I was very happy when they came in the mail.
What came in the mail?
Would you like to see?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I fucking would. Emilio's getting up. He's getting sneakers. They're beautiful. Oh, boy, I have to talk to you about sneakers. Now, what are these?
Michael Jordan 4 Cool Grays. Very exclusive.
I like the
very
the
exclusive.
Yeah.
They are.
Would you wear that?
I have not worn these yet.
Yeah.
You know who wore them?
Who?
Before I even had a chance to do it?
Who?
Take one wild guess.
Your brother?
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
That's all right.
Well, but will you wear them?
Oh yeah, I bought them. I better fucking wear them.
Okay.
They cost me $200.
That's not bad.
No, and they're retro, which is nice. And I always liked this shoe because I had this shoe originally.
In the gray?
In the gray? Yeah, I had them when they first came out. And then, sadly, just time, you wear them a lot. And
time
it just
defeats us all, man.
It's undefeated.
Gets us all.
Gets us all. That's a good Rocky.
They are beautiful.
And they're super clean. And they're minimal, which I like. And gray goes with anything. And it's a gray, white, and black color scheme. Mm-hmm. So I'm not mad at them. But I was obsessed with literally waiting to get them at Foot Action.
Yeah.
Because I wanted these ones specifically.
That's my favorite kind of porn, by the way. Foot Action.
Foot Action?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's efficient.
What shoes did you give me? What Jordans were those?
I gave you Jordan 2s.
Those got destroyed. Those got the shoes.
You destroyed them. I had them for like 10 years.
The rubber came off the bottom. It was embarrassing.
I want to know. I want to know, what did you do to fuck those shoes up?
I jogged in them.
That you can't do that.
Oh, God forbid I'm athletic in a Nike shoe. God forbid.
No. You're supposed to get running shoes for
I've never had a shoe fall apart like that. You could have put a match in it and given me a hot foot.
You're not supposed to run
I had to go to... I was at work. I had to go to my car and I have Velcro in the car and Velcro it just so it wasn't flopping in the wind.
Why? I had those shoes.
Thanks, Michael Jordan.
I had those shoes for years.
Thank you. Well, because you didn't wear them.
Yeah. Well, I did.
I wore them. And crazy enough, I just did it with them. And just doing it,
that's the problem.
I guess you can't just do it.
You can't just do it.
Well, that's not their logo.
You just got to walk slowly.
That's not the motto. The motto is just do it.
But I like
and then our fucking shoes will fall apart.
But I like the motto, walk slowly.
Walk slowly. Carry a big stick.
But walk slowly.
And speak softly.
Yeah. But yeah, so...
I like the ones you have, though. You won't be running in them?
No. I won't even drive in those to work. I will wear a shoe beforehand.
What do I have? Skechers now? I have Skechers that have memory foam in them.
Can I be honest with you?
So every time I like put my foot down, I feel my toes indent in it. Honestly, this is the most comfortable shoe I've ever had in my life.
Can I be honest with you? I tried on a pair of my father's.
Yeah.
Because he got the Skechers with the foam inside of them. I've never felt a more comfortable shoe in my life.
It's a revolution.
At this point, I was like, oh my God, I've spent hundreds on sneakers, and they're the most uncomfortable things in the world.
Yeah.
My dad's Skechers that I wore, my feet felt like they were walking on air.
Yeah.
I was like, how is this possible?
Why
is this possible?
Honestly, I'm never going back. It's so good. Oh, I feel my toes squishing in it, but in a good way.
I want a pair now.
You deserve a pair.
I want to wear a pair just for yoga, so that way, because
form.
You put a lot of
function over form.
Yes. Yeah,
but
I also like fashionality over function sometimes. Specifically when you're out in the streets.
No, you want that memory foam.
It's all about the clout.
Your feet deserve that memory foam.
You know what? You're right.
Yeah,
and it's a comfortable shoe.
And I jogged in this, and guess what? It's not falling apart.
I don't know. I felt bad. I was going to give you another pair for your birthday. A different pair.
I like that you decided to give me nothing for my birthday. You were like, what should I give him? Nothing or another pair of shoes? I'll go with nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, back before, when you weren't making a lot, I wasn't expecting anything. But now you're making a good amount of money. All right. Okay.
Oh, wow. All right. I see how it is now.
No, I don't require birthday gifts.
All right.
Emilio, by God, we did it.
I loved it. And I just goes to show how well I know you.
It really... At first, I was getting nervous because I was like, oh my God, he's so close. But then I was like, you know what? It's good that he got it right on the nose. It won't be anticlimactic. It'll just show how well you know me. It was a dating game moment.
Yeah.
You were like, it's the Ghostbusters symbol.
I've never felt more close to you in my life.
And by the way, how was my poker face? Did I give anything away?
No, you didn't.
I was trying to lead you towards Star Wars more.
I know you were. You were fucking baiting me.
I was like, I don't know. Star Wars. This has been a great episode. This is Pop Culture Man Children, PCMC. I'm Mike Bongiorno. That's Emilio Sparks. You can listen to Pop Culture Man Children anywhere podcasts are available. If you like what you hear and you want to see things like my tattoo or various toys, you can go to @PopCultureManChildren on Instagram. #PCMCPod. Emilio, where are you online?
Oh, God, where am I? EmilioSparks.com. You can go to WrestleRap.com. You can go to Twitter and Instagram @EmilioSparks, EmilioSparks.
Emilio.
Michael.
We end every episode the same way, by quoting the great scholar Animal.
Go bye-bye.